Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel, and if you are new, welcome. So as the title suggests, it's an everyday makeup tutorial. This is the first makeup tutorial that I filmed for my channel, so I hope you like it. And I also go really in depth on my eyebrows as well, so how I achieve this fluffy soap brow look, so I hope you like that. Hope you like my new setup. I've got some prints at the back here, got some pampas grass, got a candle. I hope you like it, makes it nice and homey. And I've also washed my brushes, so treats all round. And yeah, hope you like the video. Let's just get into it. Here I am in my fresh-faced glory. First things first, I'm just going to clip my fringe back. Got some little clips to get this out of the way. I don't want foundation in my fringe, no thank you. And also secondly, my skin is very angry. What did I say in my last video? That my skin was doing really well and it's probably going to break out again. We have broken out again. So yeah, I'm going to say it looks worse than it is. No, it's pretty bad to be fair. But yeah, a few angry blemishes, so try and ignore them. Unfortunately, my camera is fabulous quality, so it will pick them up. So yeah, nothing I can do about that, but we're still going to get on with the tutorial. So first, I'm going to prime my skin. So I'm going to use the Becca Backlight Priming Filter. I mentioned this in my 2020 faves. It is fabulous. I like to use full coverage foundations because of the situation that is my face, and I just still like having radiance through. So even though I like a full coverage, I still like there to be a lot of radiance. Just gonna smooth this on my skin. I've taken about 2 pumps, not too much. I have already prepped my skin, so done all my skincare, done my SPF, all that jazz. So yeah, straight on with the primer. You can just see that gives a nice bit of radiance there, and it feels really nice and on the skin as well. Next, I'm going to use another fave of mine. This is the Iconic Illuminator. So this is in the shade Glow. I also spoke about this in my 2020 faves. And I'm just going to pop a bit on my hand. Oh god, that was loads. And just pat it on the high points of my face. God, I just squeezed out loads then. Look at all that, bloody hell. By the way, this is a burn. I burnt myself with my curlers, so yeah, if anyone's wondering what that is, probably not, to be honest, but just in case, there's a little bit of a fact for you there. Blend that in with my foundation brush. So what this is going to do is just shine through my foundation, giving me some nice luminosity and a nice bit of radiance. So while that's kind of just on my skin there, I'm going to go straight into my brows. So I'm going to do my brows in a bit of depth actually, so because there's quite a few steps to my brow routine, and I do actually do this every single day. I use the soap brows method, so my hair is naturally very coarse. No brow gel I've ever tried keeps them standing up in position like soap does, and I mean Pear's soap is about 60p from Boots, so you can't really go wrong. So yeah, I'm going to show you that method. I might actually zoom you in. There we go, how's that? Nice and close. Little friends, see them nice, all in their glory. So first things first, I'm taking the NYX micro brow pencil. So it's got a little spoolie on one end, and what I'm going to do with that is just brush my brow hairs up to begin with, just to get them up and reveal all my sparse areas that will need filling in. I'm going to take the other side, which is the super fine tip, and just lightly fill in those sparse areas. I prefer the control I get when I hold the brush right at the end. If I hold the brush all the way in here, I'm not getting any control, so I like to hold it quite far down. And I'll get my spoolie and brush through again, just to distribute that product. Comparing the two, this one with just a few light strokes of brow product is already so much more shapely than this one here. So yeah, just going to repeat that on the other side. I mean, sometimes I leave it there if I'm not wearing a lot of makeup, or I'm keeping it really light. I'll just leave it there, to be honest. I won't do anything else. But day to day, I do the old soap brows. So we're just going to fill in the second one. So stage 2 of the brows, now comes the soap. So here's my disgusting Pear's soap, and I'm going to use just some setting spray. This is a toner actually. Use it to wet my soap with. I'm just trying to get rid of it, to be honest, and then I'll probably just use water. So a couple of sprays. You can just see a little puddle. Oh, lovely, all over me, fabulous. Little puddle of soap scum, I suppose. I'm going to take my Anastasia spoolie. Any spoolie will do. This looks gross, but it's just soap that's caked into it. So I'm sure everybody is aware of how to do this, but you know, here we go for the purposes of the tutorial. I'm just kind of mixing it up into a bit of a paste and just working it around the brush. The brush does get absolutely caked in soap, but it's fine. It washes off quite easily because it's soap. You just need a bit of warm water and it'll just kind of, it'll come off, and your spoolie looks pretty much brand new afterwards. Once we've got our little paste, I'm going to brush my brows up and keeping them flat to my skin so that they stick down. So there we go, and then what I'm going to do is just take the spoolie and just run this across the top, just to give it a bit of a nicer shape. And I just press the front ones down because these are still quite stubborn hairs at the front. I press that down with my finger and then we're good to go. So you can again already see this is just giving it so much more texture and so much more life. As opposed to where this one is right now. So next I've got a little cotton bud here, and what I'm going to do is clean up the underneath and the top just to get rid of the soap, because when you follow with your concealer and your foundation, it will just cling to the soap, so we don't want that, so we just take it off. So I'm going to use the Anastasia brow pen. This is in the shade Ebony, and fill in these areas here. So really light hair strokes. There we go, happy with that. So the final step from my eyebrows, and then I will finally zoom you out, is to conceal. So I'm just going to clean up the underneath. You can see I've gone a little bit crazy with that pen in certain areas, so I'm just going to clean it up, and I'm going to use the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer. I'm going to take it on this little super thin brush. This one's from Peaches Makeup, and I absolutely love this to carve up my brows with at the minute. Underneath, super close to the hairs, just to make it nice and crisp but still natural looking, and any harsh line of concealer I fluff that up into the front of the brow just to make it look more natural. So yeah, they are my brows. That's my daily brow routine. They will stay like this all day, they won't budge. Now time for the rest. So I start with my foundation typically. So I've gone back to the Fenty Pro Filter foundation. I used this years and years ago and then just haven't used it for so long, and yeah, just thought I'd get it again because I was running out of some foundations and just thought, oh, let's try this Fenty one again. So I'm using the shade 370. I got matched to this way back when the foundation first launched, so I could probably get a better foundation match because they've got loads more shades now. They've got 50 shades as opposed to 40. So when I'm allowed to go and get somebody to face match me, which will probably be, I mean, never now, but when I can get properly matched and when I can test products in store, I want to try a new shade because I'm not that brave to just buy one of these in a different colour because these oxidize quite crazily. So I think it's worth getting matched to this, and I'm going to apply it with this Fenty brush. I actually only bought this a couple of days ago, but I really love it. I wanted a new foundation brush because I was after a smaller foundation brush because I like to use the same foundation brush to blend in my concealer for ease. So I went with this one. I got the 115 Kabuki Buff foundation brush, and I really like it so far. So I'm just going to give the foundation a shake and just apply this to my skin. I'm using a lot, like I feel like I do need a lot of this foundation for it to give me the coverage that I want. I'm just going to blend that in. So as I said, look at that, you can see it's, I promise this will blend in. I promise this will be my shade. I'm using stippling motions with my brush. It looks like I'm being really aggressive, but I'm not, I promise. And you can see the coverage is really, really nice, but we're still getting that radiance through from all that primer that we used. And you can see it's pretty good shade match actually. Now I'm looking at it, it's kind of good. And you know what, I do, like I said, I do wear this every day and I don't look at myself in the mirror throughout the day and think, what shade is that? I do like how it looks, and this does wear really, really well. I don't find it comes off. At the moment, because I've been wearing a mask a lot, full coverage and sort of long wearing is kind of what I've been gravitating towards. So that's another reason why I went for this. So there we go, that's my foundation, and you can see it's done so well at covering any kind of well, not these friends, but it's covered any of my scarring and any kind of darker patches that I've got on my skin, and just really evened up my skin tone. So yeah, really, really, really nice foundation. Really love it. It's just such a classic. Next up is concealer. So going back in with the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer and just applying this to areas that I need. I don't need a lot of coverage. I've not got really that like dark under eye circles, luckily, just to give me a bit of brightness and just to like wake me up and give my face a bit more shape. I do like using a beauty sponge as well, but I always forget to wet it in the morning, and once I've sat down I don't want to get up again, to be quite honest. So I have really enjoyed using this foundation brush for blending in my concealer as well. It's just so easy. So it's had a bit of time to sit. There we go, that's all blended out now. That concealer was in the shade Caramel, I didn't say, but yeah, it's Caramel. I like to use a concealer that is just kind of just a couple of shades lighter than my skin, just to give me a bit of brightness. And to set, I'm going to use the Laura Mercier translucent powder, and this is in the shade Translucent Honey. This is the best translucent powder, loose powder, that I've ever used. So I'm just going to stipple that into the skin really, really lightly. It's such a light dusting. Lovely. And I'm also going to take a little bit just down the sides of my mouth, because it creases all the time, and I get a little bit of shine on my forehead, so just a little bit up there, so usual places really. Next I'm going to bronze, and I'm going to use a combination of products. So I'm going to use the Sosu by Suzanne Jackson Contour Stick in Dark first. So I mentioned this in my 2020 favourites, so you can see how lovely it goes on the skin. Really, really just like butter. It looks like I'm going a bit crazy, but it's so light and just melts into the skin really well. I'm gonna just blend that into the skin. You can just see how nicely that blends in, and that's why I love this. I don't really take much time sculpting. I prefer like a warm bronzed sun-kissed sort of look day to day. I cannot contour my nose for the life of me, because my nose is a really weird shape. If I try and contour it, you can just tell I've contoured it, it just looks stupid. And then the bronzer I'm going to use to go on top of that is the NARS bronzing powder. This is in the shade Punta Cana. I love it. It's such a good bronzer. So you can see I'm just really lightly pressing that and buffing that into my cheekbone, and it just gives a nice bit of sculpt, just lightly sculpt. My face is quite round. I am not blessed with cheekbones, so I like to give the illusion that I have a shapely face. And then I'm also going to take a little bit through my crease and out into the temple. And yeah, I'm going to go a bit closer. I just love how my skin looks. You can see we've got that glow coming through from the primers. We've got some nice coverage going on, and we've got a little bit of sculpt. So yeah. Next is blusher. So I have got the Fenty Beauty Kilowatt Freestyle Highlighting Duo in Ginger Binge and Moscow Mule. So it's a duo, so it's a highlighting duo. So I take my brush in both sides and I start quite far in, quite underneath my eyes, and I just press that into my skin all the way up to the temple. I do like to go quite high with it, because why not? I mean, why not? And then I sweep a little bit on my nose, not too much, but it just helps it tie in a bit more, and anything left on the brush I just sweep across my temples. So that is the skin pretty much done. This is my perfect glowy base that will last all day. Like, this won't move. It looks so glowy and so fresh. And definitely what will have contributed to this as well is that priming routine. So it really does help. And if you want a glowy base that will last all day, 100%, this is it. So for eyes, I keep it extremely simple, and I will just take a brown eyeshadow. So I'm going to use the Beauty Bay Book of Magic palette not mallet, and I'm just going to take the shade Amulet just on a fluffy brush and just sweep that all over my lid and mainly through my crease, just to get rid of any oiliness, really, any kind of natural oils that are on my eyelids. Then I'm going to take this brown Manifest really, really lightly on that same fluffy brush and just deepen the socket crease area a bit. I'm going to take a really small smudgy sort of eyeshadow brush. This one's from Morphe, it's an M508, and I'm going to take the shade Hex, I couldn't read that then, Hex, which is the black. This eyeshadow, I spoke about it in the 2020 faves, I don't need to bang on about it, but this palette is incredible, and the black is very, very, very dark, so be very careful when using this black. I'm honestly putting the smallest amount on the brush, tapping off the excess, and I'm creating a smoky wing. So just going out like that. I'm not bringing it all the way in, I'm just bringing it sort of halfway. So when it gets to sort of here, just blend that down into the lash line, and you've got a nice kind of very simple smoky wing, and this won't move either. I'm going to use the Shimmer eyelash curler to curl my eyelashes. You may notice, if you follow me on Instagram, that I've not worn lashes in any of my posts for the whole year so far, and that's just because I was creating quite a lot of looks over the Christmas period using, obviously, you know, lash glue, and it was just really irritating my eyes, and my eyelashes had virtually dropped off. So I've been using castor oil on them nightly, and it's really, really helped. So yeah, I've really enjoyed not wearing lashes and just having my natural lashes but curled. And then for mascara, I'm going to use the Huda Beauty Legit Lashes mascara. People ask me all the time what I think about this mascara, and I think it's because it's got such mixed reviews, and my opinion is mixed, to be honest. I didn't used to like it, I will be honest. When I first used it, I thought this mascara is not that great, but I think over time, where it's sort of dried out a bit, and if I just use the curl and length end, it's actually not that bad. I probably wouldn't repurchase it just because it's a waste of product for me not using the other end. There are plenty of other mascaras that will do what the curl and length end does, that doesn't have another random mascara on the other end that you just don't want to use. So I'm using it to use it up, to be honest. We're very nearly there, so now it's time for lips. So favourite lip combo of life is this Peaches liner in Hotline. It is the perfect brown lip liner. So just sketching out the shape here. And then my favourite nude lipstick of the moment is the Huda Beauty Power Bullet lipstick in Board Meeting. I love it. It's the best nude lipstick I've tried. So I'm just going to pat that onto my lips. Just my favourite nude lip combo. Let's take these out and end the video. Here's Fringy. So that's it for my everyday makeup tutorial. I hope you liked it. Thank you so much for watching, as always, and please give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and let me know in the comments what you would like me to film next. Please also follow me on Instagram if you don't already. It's at Alina Beauty, and I'll see you in my next video. Facial settings, what? Look like a little cat. Really like the Huda Beauty Power Bully lipstick. Bit of fringe coming out there.